Hello students, so welcome back with me. So today we're gonna learn about recount text. Well, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to know what recount text is, and then to know the types of recount text, and then to understand the purpose, the structure, and the features of recount text, and then to analyze the recount text, and then you'll be able to understand the recount text given and be able to find the general and specific information from the text. So yeah, that's our goals for this meeting. And yep, we're gonna talk about all about recount text. So the first one, what is recount text? Well, recount text retells past event, including who was involved, what happened, where the event took place, and when it happened. Jadi intinya recount text itu memberitahukan kita tentang past event atau kejadian lampau, termasuk memberi kita informasi siapa sih yang terlibat di dalamnya, lalu apa sih yang terjadi di sana, kapan dan di mana kejadiannya. Itu dia tentang recount text ya. Nah, berikutnya. Next, types of recount text. We have two types of recount text here. The first one is personal recount, and then we have factual recount. So, personal recount is an event the writer personally involved. Kalau personal recount ini ya, kejadian yang mana si penulisnya juga terlibat. Jadi, si penulis menuliskan pengalamannya pribadi, pengalamannya dia. Itu. Sedangkan factual recount, an objective recount of an actual event by someone not personally involved in the situation. Sedangkan si factual recount ini objective recount. Jadi suatu kejadian lampau, recount text yang sifatnya objektif, di mana si penulis tidak terlibat di dalamnya. Ya, jadi dia menceritakan tentang kisah atau kejadian orang lain. Pokoknya dia si penulis tidak terlibat di dalamnya gitu ya. Next, the examples. Here are the examples of recount. First, personal recount. Where we might find personal recount? Well, we might find this personal recount in autobiographies, journal and diary entries, and letters. Jadi kita bisa temukan personal recount itu bisa di autobiografi, di catatan harian seperti diary, kemudian juga di surat, tentunya surat pribadi ya, personal letters. And then factual recount. Nah, sementara factual recount kita bisa temukan di news reports, police reports, eyewitness accounts, and historical books. Nih, factual recounts adanya di sini ya. Ada di berita, atau di laporan polisi, atau di eyewitness accounts, testimoni saksi mata ya, testimoni, begitu, dan kemudian ada di buku-buku atau teks-teks sejarah. Kita biasanya menemukan factual recount di sana. And then next, the purpose. In personal recount, the purpose is to reconstruct past events, either real or fictional, by retelling them in the order in which they occurred from a personal point of view. While in factual recount, the purpose is to reconstruct past events by retelling them in the order in which they occurred. Jadi dua-duanya ini sama-sama tujuannya itu untuk reconstruct past events, untuk menceritakan kembali past events. Nah, sementara kalau di personal recount, the past events, nah ini yang menarik, past events-nya, it can be real or fictional. Jadi past event-nya itu bisa kejadian yang sesungguhnya terjadi, kejadian real atau fiksi, ya, bisa juga fiksi. Nah, di sini di personal recount, we retell them in the order in which they occurred from a personal point of view. Di sini ya, ada, kita mau highlight di sini yaitu ini, from a personal point of view. Jadi berdasarkan sudut pandang si penulis. Gitu. Sementara kalau factual recount, ini nggak ada sudut pandang penulis karena ini objektif. Jadi we retell the past event in the order in which they occurred. Jadi pada sesuai urutan kejadiannya, apa adanya kalau di factual recount. Jadi cukup sampai pada urutan kejadiannya, nggak ada yang namanya personal point of view. And students, I want you to pay attention here that personal recount and factual recount, both of them should be told in the order which they occur. Jadi harus diceritakan menurut urutan kejadiannya. Jadi harus berurutan. Misalnya pertama kejadian apa dulu, and then what happened next, kayak gitu. Jadi harus berurutan in chronological order. Okay. Next we have this, the structure ya. Structure. Nah, structure atau struktur. Strukturnya ini yang pertama dari personal recount dulu. Here, personal recount. The structure, we have three parts. We have three parts of the structure here. The first one is orientation, and then the second part is series of events, and then the last part is these optional elements. Well, let's start with the first part, orientation. Orientation is an introductory paragraph giving background information about who, what, where, and when. So, this is an introductory paragraph. Jadi paragraf introduction. Paragraf introductory paragraph itu biasanya paragraf yang pertama ya. Ini isinya memberikan background information, latar belakang ya, latar belakang informasi umum gitu ya tentang who, tentang siapa, apa, kapan dan di mana kejadiannya. Jadi ini ya, intinya ini. And then the second part is series of event. Series of event here told in chronological order. Remember that should be in chronological order. Harus dalam susunan kejadiannya secara kronologis ya, harus secara kronologis. And this series of events are in the paragraphs after the introductory paragraph. Jadi ini adanya di paragraf-paragraf setelah introductory paragraph atau the first paragraph. Jadi ya udah paragraf-paragraf berikutnya itu menceritakan ini ya, kronologisnya bagaimana gitu. And then the last part is an optional elements. It's personal comments at various stages and the conclusion at the end of recount. Okay, since it's a personal recount, so there would be a personal comments. There might be a personal comments. Bisa ada komentar-komentar dari si penulis ya, karena ini personal recount. So the writer can give comments at the last part, at the last paragraph. Tapi again ini optional. Jadi bisa ada, bisa enggak. And also there could be a conclusion at the end of recount. Bisa juga nanti ada conclusion-nya atau kesimpulan. Jadi tergantung si penulis, dia mau ngasih conclusion kah, mau ngasih comments kah, itu tergantung. Atau kalau nggak mau kasih comment, nggak mau kasih conclusion, it doesn't matter. Nggak apa-apa juga. Karena ini optional, pilihan ya, tidak wajib. Okay? Alright, next. Next, ini adalah factual recount. Struktur atau ya struktur untuk factual recount. Again, we have three parts, masih sama, ada 3 parts. The first one is orientation, series of events, and the last part is an optional conclusion. Okay, let's start with orientation. It's still the same. It's an introductory paragraph giving background information about who, what, where, and when. Masih sama ya, ini adalah introductory paragraph, yaitu paragraf pertama yang memberikan background information, memberikan latar belakang tentang siapa, apa, di mana, dan kapan. Gitu ya. Ini adanya di introduction paragraph, introductory paragraph. And then the second part is series of events, urutan kejadiannya. Sama, masih sama ya. Ini adalah urutan kejadian secara kronologis. Ini ada di paragraf-paragraf berikutnya. And then the last part is an optional, again optional. An optional conclusion. Nah, at the end of the recount. Nah, ini nanti di akhir recount-nya boleh ada yang namanya kesimpulan. Ya, tapi boleh juga enggak. Jadi, enggak masalah. Mau ada atau enggak, tidak masalah. Because it's optional, okay? So, that's for the structure. Remember, we have 3 parts. orientation, series of events, and then optional conclusion. Alright, next. Next features atau ciri-ciri ini yang membedakan text recount dari teks lainnya. Ya, this what makes them special. Okay, so the features here. First, we have proper nouns to identify those involved. Kita punya proper nouns nih atau kata benda ya. Untuk mengidentifikasi siapa-siapa saja yang terlibat di dalam kejadian tersebut. Atau dengan kata lain adalah specific participants. Specific participants. Spesifik ya. Participants-nya itu spesifik. Artinya jelas orang-orangnya siapa aja. And then next, we use past tense to describe past events. Nah, tense-nya di sini yang dipakai adalah past tense. In previous lesson, we already discussed simple past, right? So that's gonna be useful in this text. And then we also use this, time adverbials, to connect events chronologically. Example, in 1932, the next day, and so on. Jadi kita pakai keterangan waktu untuk menghubungkan kejadian secara kronologis. Jadi untuk memberitahu ya, biar kita tahu nih kejadiannya kronologis nggak terjadinya. Kita pakai keterangan waktu. And next, we also have chronological connection, such as first, next, then. Nah, kita pakai kata penghubung ya, kata penghubung yang menunjukkan kronologis. Contohnya, pertama-tama ya kan kayak gini, first, next, and then. So that's the features, the general features for both personal and factual recount. Next, kita punya features yang agak berbeda nih di antara personal recount and factual recount. Nah, in personal recount, we use first person pronouns. First person pronouns, kata ganti orang pertama. For example, I, we, me, okay, are used to highlight the personal nature of the recount. Jadi di personal recount kita pakai kata kerja orang pertama. Contohnya saya, kami. While in factual recount, we use third personal pronouns. Third personal pronouns. For example, he, she, they, it, to indicate the objective nature of the recount. Nah, sementara di factual recount kita pakai kata ganti orang ketiga. Contohnya, dia, mereka, itu. Karena ini teksnya objektif dan si penulis tidak terlibat di dalamnya, maka kita pakai kata ganti orang ketiga. Oke, paham ya? Next, personal reflections and descriptions of feelings can be included to make the recount more effective. Nah, di personal recounts ini, kita bisa memasukkan personal reflection and descriptions of feelings. So, the writer's feelings can be included here. Di personal recount, bisa ada, penulis itu bisa mengungkapkan perasaannya, pendapatnya, sudut pandangnya, ya. While in factual recount, the description of personal emotion is usually left out. Sementara kalau di factual recount kita nggak bisa, penulis nggak bisa mengungkapkan perasaannya. Tidak boleh ya, karena ini sifatnya objektif, jadi dia nggak boleh melibatkan perasaannya di dalam factual recount. Okay? And also, the ending of factual recount may describe the result or the outcome of the activity. For example, in a science experiment report. Nah, di factual recount ini, endingnya bisa aja, ending dari factual recount nih, bisa aja menjelaskan tentang outcome atau result dari activity tersebut. Contohnya ini terdapat dalam laporan sains, laporan ilmiah sains, laporan ilmiah IPA. Biasanya kan pada bagian akhirnya itu ada outcome-nya ya, ada hasil dari eksperimennya, atau hasil dari kejadiannya, laporannya gitu. Tapi ini nggak di semua sih, ini nggak di semua. Okay, next. Well, next I have model text here. I have two kind of text actually. This is text 1. The title here is I saw a UFO. I saw a UFO. So now you can click pause on this video so you can read the text. Okay. Okay, yep. You may click pause now. You may pause the video. All right. And then next, we have text 2 here. Text 2, the title is Ancient Indonesia. It's actually taken from your textbook. You can find it on your textbook page. Oh, yeah, page 155. 155, yeah. Okay, I think you can post this video so you can read the text. Yeah, you may post now. Okay, please read the text. All right, I believe that you've done reading the text. Yeah, okay. Since you're done reading the text now, I want you to try to analyze. Yeah, I want you to try to analyze both texts by doing the following activity. Gimana nih cara kita analisis teksnya? Oke, kita lihat ya di slide berikut ini. Nah, ini ada dua ya, Nak ya. Analyzing text 1 and analyzing text 2. So, what you have to do here is you have to find out what type of text is it. Text 2, what type of text? Is it a personal recount or is it a factual recount? You can write your answer here. And then you have also to find out which one is the orientation part of the text one. Yang mana nih bagian orientationnya? Paragraf berapa gitu ya. And then series of events. Yang mana aja nih series of events dari text 1? Paragraf berapa aja? And then the conclusion. Is there any conclusion in that text? If so, then you can write down which paragraph is it. If not, then you can just leave it blank. Oke, kamu cari ada conclusion-nya nggak? Kalau ada, tulis di paragraf berapa ada conclusion-nya. Kalau nggak ada, ya udah nggak apa-apa, dikosongin aja. Nah, hal yang sama juga kamu lakukan untuk text tuh. You have to find out what type of text is it. Is it a personal or is it a factual recount? Tulis di sini. And then sama ya, cari orientation-nya yang mana, paragraf berapa, series of events-nya juga paragraf yang mana, conclusion-nya juga ada apa enggak, kalau ada paragraf yang mana, kalau enggak ya udah tinggalin aja, dikosongin aja. And you can do this in your notebook. Kamu boleh coba kerjakan ini di notebook kamu ya. Kamu boleh coret-coret di notebook kamu, di buku tulis kamu, okay? So, I want you to read both texts, yeah, and then try to do this analysis. Try to analyze the text, okay? All right, so we're gonna discuss this. We're gonna discuss this in our Zoom meeting. Make sure that you try to understand the text and analyze the text, okay? So, and also if you have any questions, then you can ask me on our Zoom meeting. Okay, that's it, students. Thank you very much. Happy working, happy learning, everyone. See you on Zoom meeting. Bye-bye.